I'd rather be. Let's go ahead and get that Brownsville going. Right, there we go. Okay, so good morning, good morning. Another Wednesday morning, hump day morning. Looking at the scans today, looking at the scans today, I see CJJD leading the way up 92%. The next top mover is LUNR, and we have GNPX. Now these are all floating around $1, so we'll see what those want to do. I don't know if they have any news or whatever. They do seem to be pretty low float though, so I'll look into that momentarily. Okay, so let's start with CJJD. What is going on with this company? CJJD. China JoJo Drug Stores. Okay, so they proposed a registered direct offering. That was 32 minutes ago, and then yesterday they said they announced a $7 million registered direct offering. Okay, so offerings coming out on that one not looking great. We don't know what that offering entails. Let me just click into it and see what they got. So let's see offline. Let's see if they're talking any money, any dollar amounts in here. Nope, nope, nope. Let's go to the other one. Okay, so it says they're trying to do an offering of $3.10 per share. Right now they're at $1.25. They did have a little bit of a drop off. If we look over here on their daily chart for CJJD, they were up here at $5, had a big fall down to 61 cents, and now have this may actually be a dead cat bounce, just a little bit of a bounce before it actually continues downward. Looking at how this drop was, this was a big candle on yesterday. So this is just a little bit of a bounce here. We'll see. All right. Yeah, the level 2 is really thick. Let me look at that level 2 here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get up here. Wow. Yeah, that's thick. You don't see nothing but 23,000. 20 and the hard thing about a level 2 that's like this is it's very hard to identify a level of actual uh support or resistance because these big numbers are out here. I mean, is 43,000 a big number sitting out there compared to everything else? Yes, but there could be hidden orders out here as well. Look at this, 109, 60. Just 60 sitting out there. That ain't right. At 109, over here on the buy side, let's see if it's any smaller ones. Yeah, so that's kind of weird on CJJD. Let's see what the next one was. Looks like, good morning, Lori. Looks like we got GMDA, that's down 21%. Tesla, LUNR. Okay, LUNR, what is your story? Initiative Machine shares rise 25% after JV gets NASA contract. Okay. They got a $719 million NASA award after the close Tuesday. So that's interesting on Lunar. It is a lower float. Let me look at how low the float is here. LURN. That's definitely some good news for their company, I guess. Getting a contract from NASA. Let's read into this a little bit. Okay, okay. What are they doing for NASA though? Let's see. Avoided Space Technology Solutions, joint venture led to by Initiative Machines. The single award contract is a 5-year base performance period and a maximum ordering value of 719 million. So that's their maximum ordering value. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to see what it does during the day. I mean, that is some okay news for Lunar, so we'll definitely keep that one on watch. It said $12.66. Has been working its way up. The next one out here is looking like GNPX up 14%. Let's look at what they got going. GNPX. GNPX, cancer and diabetes remain among the deadliest among the debilitating diseases. Okay. Is gene therapy the solution? I don't know. It's at $1 and something right now. Very cheap stock. Very low volume to be this cheap though. It's a little bit higher float as well. Let's look at GNPX float. Actually, before we look at that, let me look at this initiative, whatever we were looking at first. I mean lunar float. Lunar's float is looking like it's not available. Let's jump over here to FinViz. Float is looking like around 23 million. No information there. No shelf registrations that are visible in recent years. Okay, so let's jump over to GNPX. No shelf registrations. Okay, insiders, institutional holdings look like a little bit more. Where is your shares float? Don't see them there. GNPX. 47 million shares float according to FinViz. PX. 51 million according to Yahoo Finance. Lori says GNPX is pumped. It's only up 13%. I hate stocks that struggle to hold $1. I just despise them. You know. Let's see. Oh, that's Lunar Warrants. So Lunar Warrants is up 222%. Right here, $1.13, up 220%. So I guess LURNW. LUNRW. Okay, and then behind that is Mara Went is up 14%. Let's see what Went is about. Can it get more volume than it's been getting? And then DoorDash out there at the very bottom of the scan. Okay, let's go over the trade from yesterday. Yesterday I traded ALLR, which is now under $1. I traded ALLR. My entry price was 166 on my entry price on this one. Now, if you look at the 4-hour chart, you're like, man, this looks bad. Wow, the shorts were killing this one. Well, you know, the shorts have to breathe at sometimes. Now, I did trade under $2. I usually don't trade things under $2, but with the volume that it had and the setup that it was giving, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this. So looking at the lower time frames, let's see if we can which one? I guess I'll have to go into the 15-minute to make it make sense. So here's a 15-minute on ALLR. I saw this thing ripping out of the open, and of course, you know, I buy low. I'm not looking to buy anything up here. I just let them play ball. After it started coming down, I started looking for levels. I'm looking for recent levels because there wasn't a lot of information like back here, you know, back here on the 21st and all this, but there was a little bit of information from this previous pop-up day. And so this previous pop-up day had this consolidation right through here on the 15-minute, which is kind of what I was going for support. But I didn't know how credible this support was because it wasn't super clear on the higher time frames. So 138, I was like, okay, well that's a possible level where it came down during this open and bounced off of this 138, right? And so I was like, okay, well that's that. Let's look at the top side of this. Let's look at the top side of this consolidation here, which was the next level of support for me at that time for it to come down to. It came right down through that level, and I was like, ooh, that looks okay. And so I started buying right in this level, right around the 163s. And when I bought at the 163s, I bought 1,000 shares to start, and then it dropped a little bit, right, and continued to hold the mid range of this level right here. And if you look back, this is also a level that has been a little bit of indecision in here. And I was like, okay, I think this could be a good level. So I got in 1,000, and then it came up a little bit. But the problem was I was using market orders instead of limit orders to buy. And so when it was down here at 150, when it was down here and it was holding 150 and it bounced back up here to 157, I was hitting the buy button. And it was giving me fills at 160, 162, 164 on market orders. And so my average price ended up being 166, and I ended up with I had 3,000, almost 4,000 shares in this little dip here. And it was like 3,800 something. It wasn't exactly 4,000, but it was something like close. And so I got in here in this little dip, and as it started going up, I was immediately up, you know, a lot of money. I didn't really need much. And so on this, with this already being under $2, I did not think it could retrace back up to the VWAP. I just didn't trust it to do it. And of course, you can see how the rest of the day went. It kind of went down, but I did not trust it to get all the way back up to VWAP. So I started taking profit, which I thought I was taking profit. And so again, I had market orders and I was selling with market orders. And I sold 300 shares, sold 300 shares, sold 300 shares. And when I looked at my P&L, it was negative. I was like, what's going on? So they were filling me. On my realized or my on my unrealized P&L, I was up $345. But when I was hitting the sell button, it was filling me below my entry price. So it was giving me red trades, and I was like, what in the world? I'm down. And so I'm glad I didn't sell half at that point with the market order, because I would have lost a lot of money. And so I switched over to limit orders, and I started to sell those limit orders. And I quickly made up that little deficit, but it shouldn't have been red at all. It was the market orders that was filling me below my level. But yeah, I closed up that trade with about $200 after I was chopping off shares, and then I was like, why am I red? My unrealized says 345, but every time I hit the sell button, it's showing a negative. So yeah, I had to figure that out real quick, and yeah, I just went ahead and clipped off 200 and just left it at that. I mean, 200 is where I want to be, like an average, average per trade, average per trade profit. But I gave up. I had 345 on the board. And yeah, so that was aggravating. But I was like, you know what? I'm already out of my rule set. I'm trading something under $2, so I'm just gonna be happy with the 200 and walk. And that's what I did. I didn't even hold through this. So I was out on this candle after I realized the issues that I was having. I got in what 1 6, my average price was 166 because of the market orders. It came up and I was immediately like up like 345. And once I realized my mistake, I was like, okay, I've made a mistake. Let me just take the profit and be happy. Then on the next candle, it dropped all the way back down to 158 here and popped back up. But I was already out before this little pop. I was like, you know what? Too many mistakes. Let's get on down. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because as you can see, it just was a little bit of a roller coaster ride on down. And now it's at 86, 87 cents. But I took my profit in that. And all I'm looking for shorts to be winning. I'm looking for shorts, the late shorts, to think it's going to continue down, right? I'm looking for, because think about it. If these shorts up here, they took the best position on the they took the best position as shorts, up high above VWAP, selling into this pressure. I'm like, okay, all these shorts, who's not going to want to cover some down here in this level, or in this level that I identified here? Who's not going to want to cover if it makes down here? And so it made it down there, and I was like, okay, let's go. And that's when I jumped in. Now, higher price stock could give a little bit more of a retracement up to VWAP, which would have been nice on 4,000 shares all the way back up here to 226. But I'm not gonna be a greedy dog. I know that this thing is out of my wheelhouse per se. It's under $2, so I just let it live. But yeah, that was a trade from yesterday. And so today, I'm not. I mean, I burned my capital yesterday, so I'm okay. Just sitting green on the week. But yeah. As for today, though, we have CJJ coming up the list. Okay. Up $113 or 13% there. And again, this is what I'm looking for. Like, I want to know what's a obvious level. Can I look back and see obvious levels on the chart? And I'm looking to trade those obvious levels. I'm not really trying to guesstimate bottoms and all this. If it's not already there, imaginary support, imaginary resistance can get you killed. Because think about it, on this trade with ALLR, what if there was no obvious spots back here and it just continued down and I'm holding 3,000 shares, 4,000 shares, right? What then? I would have been down a lot. 166 down here to 75 cents. That would have hurt. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get ALLR off because I do not touch anything under $1. I need some range. I need some volume. And that was the other thing yesterday. ALLR had crazy volume. So I knew where the volume is where the people are. And where the people are is where the stupid is. So profit off of stupid. Profit off of the fear of being trapped. And keep your expectations low. And one thing that I'm realizing, most of my trades I'm getting some good trades. I'm getting into good entries, but it's always feeling like what was the one that ripped? Was it PTPI, or there's one that ripped after I got in? I took my little bit and then it continued to rip, and I'm just getting to the point. I'm like, you know what? If I'm getting my 200 and getting out, I'm meeting what I'm looking for to do consistently, right? Just consistent 200, 200, 200, 200. And then even if it rips to the moon after I get out, I'm like, you know what? What I planned. I followed my plan, right? Now there is some FOMO when I take like 3,000 shares and it does a little drop and whatever, and then it shoots and I'm like, dang, that would have been $3,000. It would have been, a $1, $2 move, but that's greed. I want to stick to a consistent plan. That's what I'm trying to just. I'm like, yes, just take my time. Take my time. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because as I size up, those profits will come. You know, getting comfortable with taking 3,000, 4,000 shares. Soon it'll be 5,000, and just continue to push with my parameters that I have. But yeah. Anyway, today is hump day. Is there any kind of news coming out today? Any more Fed news? I don't think it's supposed to be. Um, Fed news. Okay, stocks ease, dollar perks up as focus returns to Fed and inflation. Gold slips on firmer dollar. Fed rate outlook. Dollar regains footing as yields rise. Okay. Oil dips as potential Fed rate hike overshadows falling stocks. Let's see. Don't let survey how our return to office policies changing for federal employees. We want something that's affecting the market today. Let's see. Federal news conference. Press releases, minutes of the board, discount rate meetings. Approval. Okay, so this is Wednesday the 19th. Commercial selected interest rates at 415. I don't really see anything that's looks crazy interesting. We'll see. Let's go look out here on. I rarely ever use this site anymore. Stockhouse. I might take it off. I mean, I rarely look at it. I usually I occasionally use Benzinga, but for the most part, what I want to know about these stocks is, do they have any shelf registrations? Are there any offerings coming? What the insider holding? I want to know, who's in the majority control, insiders or institutions. I want to know the float. I want to know the relative volume. Is it a high relative volume in comparison to previous values? And that's about it. And does it have a catalyst? What's the catalyst? If it doesn't have a catalyst, I just kind of steer away from it. Kind of. Either I steer away from it or I'll size down on the position. I'm not taking 4,000 shares. I'll take like 50. Anyway, are you guys watching anything on this Wednesday hump day morning, or are you doing any swing trades this week or anything like that? If so, let us know what you looking at. Or what sector you're looking at. What sector do you think is going to be the next hot sector? Of course, we had AI. They had a run for quite a while. They're kind of on a cool down period right now. We had the banks. Actually, let me go look at my bank stocks. Let me go look at my bank stocks here. These are a couple of dividend stocks that I've kind of been collecting. I've been looking into dividend stocks and trying to see what I want to get into. Schwab, kind of letting it play around in this area. Haven't really taken any position yet. It's just floating around the 50s. I was trying to see if it was going to get another leg down. Some of these bank stocks, just being patient on those entries. I would love to buy a little bit lower on some of these, but we'll see. So I got oil stocks that pay dividends. I got banking stocks that pay dividends, asset management companies that pay dividends. Some of these are like monthly dividends. Some of these are uh quarterly, and some of them are annual. Natural gas dividend payout. So I'm interested in the dividends. I'm trying to collect some dividend payout. As for the non-dividend stuff, we got PayPal, Square, GBIO was the one that Moderna had invested in, but didn't really do much. Kind of just went flat. But Moderna did invest in them, so I don't know if they're gonna have some type of future. If they're just holding above $4, I don't know what the move is there, but we saw that a couple weeks ago. Delta Airlines, American Airlines, they don't pay any dividends though. A couple of swing trades that I was looking at. INDO is just a little bit too flat for me. I'm just every time oil comes up, I'm like, this could be the one for INDO, and it does pop, a good bit when oil pops, but it's just so sporadic. I mean, energy news is always changing. One day it's like oil, then the next day it's like natural gas, then it's like so it's like it's kind of hard to pinpoint what it wants to do. But I think the top one that we're gonna watch out of the open is CJJD to see what kind of action it does. Up 100%. Up. I mean, has 33 million shares traded. This current scan that I have is just scanning for things over $1 that have some volume, and then the top gappers will populate after the market opens. Looking for top gappers like things up, 30%, anything like that, with a little bit of volume. They don't have to have crazy volume because sometimes on days like this, hump days, or days that we had a hot day yesterday or the day before, we have kind of like a cool down period where some stocks kind of go under the radar, but they are gapped. So they may be gapped up, 30, 40, 50%, but they're just not receiving volume, right? So I'm like, okay, let me just see them, read their news, and see if they can be a play later on this week just to keep on watch. Because there are cycles in the market. You got the hot times, then you got the times where people give back a lot of profit because it's cold, and they're still trying to take those same entries and whatever, and they just don't work out. All right, but yeah, CJJD came back into this previous consolidation level. I guess you could put this as resistance here. We'll see if it can get back below the one. What is this? The 125s. We'll see if they can collect some. The biggest candle right here had 5 million shares traded. It went from 86 cents up to $1.30. And then the bars kind of get smaller up here. So we'll see if it'll dive back under the 125s. I already got a strong downtrend going there. And also, we really don't know the true range of intraday yet. We know it gave what, 86 up to 133. What is that? 133 minus 86. 47 cents was the best move during this. So what's 25% of 47 times 25? It's 11 cents. And that's pretty much how I do it. Whatever the range is, whatever the biggest range is, if I could just take 25% of that, I'm good. Just 25%. I keep my expectations low. She don't have to be a supermodel. She just need to be kind of attractive. All right, so we have 5 seconds. We're about to get this open on CJJD. And we'll also be watching Lunar. Lunar had that NASA contract coming through, so definitely keep your eye on Lunar today, because that NASA contract may bring a little bit of attention to it. Only 2 million shares on it though. And then Lunar warrants also moving up as well. CJJD had that top side of one right under the 150s. Get a nice little drop there. Next one holding green is GMDA. Actually, no, it's holding green on the day, but it's down 15% overall. It announces, oh, it's doing a public offering. That was the one we looked at with the public offering. Not too interested in that. This one, Lunar, is interesting. So let's see if we can spot any obvious levels on Lunar. Let me go back to the daily chart. Woo! Lunar took a little tumbleweed downwards. We can see it was once up here at 136 and now it's down here at 12. Previous level to be tested, it has the 16s up here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Had a little bit at the 16 there. Coming down and dipping a little bit, but Lunar is very interesting. Top side is 1290. Got down there to the 1250s. But yeah, Lunar has the best news on the day. So I don't know. This is but it does not have a whole lot of volume. Only 3 million shares of volume. But I think it's the one that's going to be on today. We're trading ideas, we're trading thesis statements, we're trying to find reasons to press the buy button. What is the reasoning behind it? Can this thing get up and get going? The biggest candle during pre-market was from the $10 up here to the 14, so it's definitely got the potential to continue. It's already showed us a little dip into what looks like the 1275-ish level, and then a secondary dip into the 1275, and now it's continuing to hold this 1275 right under the $13. So this one is the one with the most potential, I think. GMDA still doing this thing with 11 million shares, right? CJJD with a nice dive right below that 125 that we spotted earlier. This was the previous, entered this previous level of resistance, or previous level of support that is becoming resistance. And Lunar still holding up that 12. Let's see, getting down to the 1250s. Where, oh, where are obvious levels on Lunar? So if we look out here on the daily chart, we can see it has a level here, and not really obvious. I don't know. Maybe there's a gap fill back here somewhere. There's the gap right there, 15, 17, low of 12 something. Did have a gap back there, but is it obvious for everyone is the question. I don't know. Still holding up 20%. A lot of buying pressure under here too. So previous level that it got down to during pre-market was 1188. Starting to hold this 275 here for Lunar. Holding, yeah, it's the news is too good. It's got a NASA contract. There it is. There she is waking up. All right, so let's see it hold. So it had a gap down here from 350s down here to the 329. So let's see if it can clear this gap and start to hold this 1361 level. Right now, it has what looks like a double bottom between the pre-market and the intraday, still holding here. But I think whoever's getting in here is going to be trading purely off the idea of the NASA contract and not so much off of support and resistance. So it may get choppy, is what I'm saying. Chop its way up. 4 million shares traded on it. Coming on up the ladder, though. Climbing the ladder. It's only got 4 stocks ahead of it: CJJD, GMDA, Tesla, Vail, and that's it. Continues to hold up that 1275. Let's see, where is the pressure? So 1306 has a little, maybe a hidden position there. 1306, we'll see what happens when it breaks 1306. Can it start getting those 13s pushed up here? Again, testing. This candle has this 15-minute candle has a little bit of time on it, popping down real quick, popping back above, and this is the chop that I'm talking about. People are actually trading the idea. They're getting in, but they're not selling. They're just holding, holding for the idea to go upward. Only problem is when you get too confident and it starts to fall and you get that pain where people are like, oh, I need to sell. If we look out here on the daily chart, we can see it trying to break back over. 1292 is the green right there. So it continues to try to go back green on the day. But I don't know if it's enough volume to make a big pop happen just yet. Now, of course, I usually wait. I usually wait the first hour just to see where it's gonna go, see if it'll give me better prices. But we'll see. We'll have to see. It's right back into this previous consolidation, looking to push up here. Can it get that break and fill this gap up to 1350s is where it needs to go. Playing around with 13 right now. Opening candle is 1 million shares traded on this candle. The warrants, it and its warrants are barely moving though. But I do like this daily setup. Look at this daily setup. Came down here to the 1235s and all the way back up here, ready to go green on the day. Doesn't take much. If we look on the 4-hour, the top side of this one was 1432. So we'll draw a little bit of resistance in here. We got a bottom side resistance of 1180 for support. It's basically just staying right in here. What's this? 1324, the body of this previous candle. Put that as resistance on the 4-hour. But yeah, looking quite interesting. 50-50 kind of play right here, right on VWAP. Never know which way it's gonna go, but the idea though, is the idea strong enough to break these previous levels? Fully break that 13 and start holding 13 and moving upwards. Donnell said he's trading VYNE. Let me go look at that. VYNE. VYNE. Did it have any kind of news there? Therapeutics stocks up, positive clinical data, inhaled formation. Okay, I see it now. It just populated on my scans too. VYNE. And let's go ahead and clean off some of this trash down here so we can. Ooh, GNPX giving up the soul. Okay, so VYNE is definitely up there as well. Both of these have catalysts behind them. One is a little bit cheaper. Is there any obvious areas on VYNE then? Let's look over here on the daily chart. We can see it had quite a bit of a rundown. Previous has a high up here of 518, has a 200 moving average right here at 450. Has a previous support level that's it's kind of close to that support level. We'll see how it holds at what 393 there, and the bottom on the day of 337. So whose catalyst will win, the NASA contract or this? Let me actually read their what they got going. So Therapeutics announces positive preclinical data for inhaled formulation of VN201 in an in vivo model of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. And how many people does that affect? Let's go and copy that. I mean, okay. Okay. Coughing. So fibrosis, okay, pulmonary symptoms, shortness of breath, dry coughing, pulmonary hypertension, heart failure, pneumonia. Okay, causes unknown, risk factors, cigarette smoking, viral infections, family history. Okay, what's the rarity? Approximately 5 million persons worldwide. So around 5 million. That's a good chunk of people. Good chunk of people there on VY. So I don't know which one of these two is going to win, but I do know which one is more attractive to the eye right now. It is VYNE. It's up 35%. It is almost doubling the volume of Lunar. So that's one of my red flags. If it's something else doubling, doubling one of the ones that I'm looking at, I kind of leave that one alone and go for the one that has the most volume and look at the percent gain on the day, up 24%. It's getting a nice push throughout the day. So, if it does drop, guess what? It's got 24% cushion. That's how I kind of look at that percent gain on the day. It's just a cushion. Now, if it goes all the way back through and goes red on the day, that's a lot of giving back. Lunar diving on down there, VYNE. And this is another reason that I usually wait a little bit in the morning, because other things are moving, other things are popping. And, if you jump into VYNE or Lunar too quick, then VYNE comes and you're like, oh my goodness, now you're watching two stocks or trying to trade two stocks. GMDA going on down there. Let's see if anything else popping up here. I don't like GMDA, but I'll watch it because it's got volume, waiting for it to fall. And let VYNE make its way up. VYNE is climbing its way up the leaderboard on volume movers very quickly. first candle had 5 million shares traded on it. It has a very high relative volume of 7.68. Anything over 5 is like a lot, you know. CJJD has 5.72. It's got a lot, but still it's the relative volume just isn't the same as VYNE. And there is a feature in TOS that shows you the relative volume of how, based on, I think it's like a 3 month period or something like that, how the volume has increased. And today you can see VYNE right here, 7.68. It's called relative volume. What is it called? Relative volume. Okay, I'll open it up. Relative volume standard deviation. Relative volume standard deviation is the function that shows you the relative volume in TOS, which I have right here, and I always watch that. So you can see Lunar down here with 1.53, and then up here you can see the top movers 7.68, and this is why VYNE is making its way up the chart so quickly, because of that high relative volume hitting a lot of scans. VYNE continuing to push, holding above 4 now. It hit a high up there of 436. 436. Lunar's just, it doesn't know what to do. It's just, I wouldn't either. I mean, it's getting beat out. Might be a late bloomer on both of those. CJJD continue to go down. Very low chance it's going to come all the way back up here to the 150. Shorts are on top of it, and it's in the shorts favor, definitely. Got a lot of volume though, but it is a cheaper stock, so we expect it to have a little bit more volume. Tesla getting a push there. Okay. So VYNE trying to hold up this $4. Had a big short down from during pre-market from 479 back down here to the 342s, and looks like buyers are slowly pushing them out. Now I'm wondering, will this thing get crazy aggressive over a 482 breakout? Will it get crazy aggressive though? Cause I mean, if I was a short and I had got in and this thing pushed all the way back up to where I got in, I don't know. We'll have to see the action above that. I don't know what they'll be using as a backstop. Maybe the 525s as a backstop. Yeah, Lunar not looking too good. Continues to go red to green, green to red. Needs to make a decision. Lunar down to 1265 now, so yeah, definitely not looking the best. Whew. Well, I guess that NASA contract isn't holding up. So now we look at what is attractive to the eye. Lunar right now is going down to 19%. Of course, its warrants is still up to 259%, but the biggest mover, the biggest attractant out of the open is still VYNE, which is going up. Oh, missed it. It's came down here, tested right under the $4, popped over the 4, and is holding that 4 up. See how it continues to pop over that 4? So got a little bit of support building. We'll see what it wants to do above this 395. Could be a risk level right there. Could be a line in the sand if you wanted to risk off the 4 and just put a stop at 395 and see if it holds. But yeah, we're gonna see. Continues to pump out. 425 is the next level to break and hold. Continues to hold that 4 though. I don't really like Lunar anymore at all. VYNE, where did you go? It's kind of slowing down too. Come on, man. Get that volume in there. Just hold the 4, basically. And most people, most traders that are trading a move like this, they like these little intermediate slow dips. They'll get in and take like a starter position because there's so much buying pressure. For this thing to take out this whole candle and get back here to 333, that's a very low probability, right? So what they're expecting is this thing to find some kind of holding point. You and the whole dollar is a perfect place, and that's why you're seeing this bounce here at the 4 because people are confident, hey, this thing's gonna hold 4, and I think people will be willing to buy at 425, 450, 475, which will protect my entry. So we'll see if that thesis is right. Will it actually hold up 4 and hold up this little bounce point that it had here at 395? On the tape, we can see 411s, 415s. Can we see any 420s? $16. Yeah, Lunar's dropping a lot. I wouldn't even worry about Lunar. Lunar just caved. Look at that. Huge dump. Forget Lunar. All right, so VYNE is looking like the top one on the day. I'm going to get rid of GMDA as well. That's a waste. CJJW. Trap. Got a lot of volume, though, even though it looks like a trap. Still not green on the day, though. Continuing to hold. I wonder, is it going to be able to close this 15 minutes above $4? Let's see. Ladder goes 22 A-frame. Oh, snap. They have been talking. All right, I'll talk to you. Okay. So yeah, I got let's see. No. So it's just taking its time right now. I don't know what it wants to do, but it is the best looking stock on the day. If we look over here on TOS on the scans, it is near the bottom of the current tickers being traded. I mean, Tesla's way up here in the number 2 slot. CJJD, even though it looks horrible, it still has 62 million shares traded. And so when we look at the low float world, we're like, okay, the low floats here: LUNR, BYNE, um, GMDA, Blue, not really, but CJJD. And we continue to see, look at that, AMD knocking Lunar off the chart there. AMD catching up with BYNE. I don't know. I'm losing confidence. It needs to. I mean, if it was gonna be something that people liked, it wouldn't be getting doubled and tripled on the day. Look, CJJD is tripling or quadrupling or not. I don't even know how to say it. The volume is massive in comparison to VYNE. So I don't know. I guess it would be one of those take your chances type deals with VYNE, but there is opportunity there though. VYNE coming back up to the 425s. 425 getting that push. Will it get the break of the 436s though? It did hold up the 4. So looking a little bit bullish now. Looking a little bit more bullish. And it just broke over the 10 million shares traded. Look at those 10,000 shares up there on the bid. Wow, those are some big bids. There were two 10,000 share positions there at the bids. There's 27s. 27 at the $4. Somebody is heavy on the 4. I don't know if that's a short or a long, but they're heavy on the 4. There it is, getting lifted back up to the 417 off that 4, holding 4 again. 14 cents away from the 4 right now. So the question is that 14 cent worth the entry here? Would you put your stop at $4 or $3.95 and say, hey, hold this? You know, because it looks strong over 4 to me, in my opinion, but it's not a fact. So I'm just saying, in my opinion. There's a 411 going through. Can we see some more 411s, 412s? 407. Come on, man. Don't lose it now. You looked good over 4. There were some huge entries that went in here. Hmm. I don't know. I don't like it. It just I feel like it should go, but it's just not going. And this is one of the reasons, looking back at my stats and looking back at my historical, this is one of the reasons that I put in the rule, hey, if there's something doubling or tripling this stock, quadrupling this stock, something's wrong. If people really find value in this stock, it's gonna be up here at the top of the leaderboard. But this thing is at 10 million when we got a 65 million. It's in competition with a 21 million, 14, 14, 14. Look at all these competitors that are absolutely running off on it. I don't know. I am not impressed with BYNE. Now, it may go later on in the day, but for this morning session with this chop, guaranteed people are losing money here. People are like, okay, we're going to let it hold the 4. As long as it holds the 4, we'll be all right. And it's given time above the 4, so more and more people are getting in. So when it does flush, it's going to be a lot of capital getting flushed down the drain on this $4 breakdown if it breaks down. It may actually even trigger a what do you call it? Panic flush, a cascading flush. Let's see if that is what happens. I do have a meeting here coming at 9. I'm just gonna let this thing. Yeah, I got to get to my meeting here. But yeah, not certain what it wants to do. I'll come back after the meeting and see what's going on. I'll be in the Discord though. Let me drop that Discord link. I did not realize it was already 9. Come on, Discord. Pop up. Freaking time flies when you're watching the market, man. But I enjoy watching the market. All right, there you go. The Discord. I'll jump into Discord after my meeting. But yeah, I'm not sure about this one. It's got 11 million and it's looking real funky above that $4. Real funky. But anyway, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't subscribed but you enjoy the content. You can subscribe if you're on Twitch and you want to follow. Appreciate that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of this and get to my meeting. If you're gonna continue trading, definitely keep your head on a swivel. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.